Good morning, students. Welcome to physics class. In the previous class, we have discussed about introduction of atoms, J.J. Thomson model, and also Greger-Marsden experiment, and some topics like a distance of closest approach and impact parameter. These are the things we have to discuss in the previous class. Okay. Now let me talk about Rutherford atomic model. The Rutherford atomic model. So this model has some postulates, Rutherford postulates. The first postulates: every atom consisting of a tiny core is called as nucleus, in which the positively charges and almost mass of the atom is concentrated. The first postulate: every atom consists a central tiny core called nucleus, in which the positive charge and almost mass of atom is concentrated. So this means, according to the Rutherford atomic model, every atom consisting of a tiny core, atom consisting of a positively charged sphere radius. Here every atom consists of a tiny core, positive charge of the nucleus of the atom is called as atomic nucleus. The central tiny core is called as atomic nucleus, in which the positive charges and almost the entire mass of atom concentrated. Means the positive, this is the atom revolving, this is the central core of the atom, the electron revolving around the atom, the positive charges and almost entire mass of the atom is concentrated on center of the nucleus. Are you getting my point? The atom consisting of a central tiny core, that is called as nucleus, atomic nucleus, in which the positive charge and entire mass of the atom is concentrated. The mass of the atom and positive charges is concentrated on a central tiny core, is concentrated on nucleus of the atom. That is the one postulate. So another postulate of the Rutherfords: the size of the nucleus of order 10 to the power of minus 15 is 10 to the power of minus 15 is very small compared to the 10 to the size of the atom of order 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. Are you getting my point? next postulate, size of atom is 10 to the power of size of nucleus, is 10 to the power of 15 centimeters size of atom is 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. The second postulate, size of the nucleus of order, that size is 10 to the power of, size of the nucleus is 10 to the power of 15 meters, which is very small compared to the size of the atom. Already I told you in the previous class, every atom consisting of a positive sphere of order 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. This is the size of the atom. Here the size of the nucleus is 10 to the power of minus 15, which is very small compared to the size of the atom of order 10 to the power of minus 10 meter. Okay, that is the one postulate. And another one is the atom is electrically neutral. Means Rutherford says atom is electrically neutral. That means the total number of negative charge of the electrons, the total number of negative charge of electrons is equals to the total number of positive charges, total number of positive charges of the atom. Means at that time only the atom is electrically neutral. The number of positive charges is equals to the number of negative charges. That means the atom is electrically neutral. And one more postulate, the Rutherford, the electron revolving around the nucleus, suppose this is the nucleus, this one is the nucleus, electron revolving, we consider a E, that is electron revolving around the nucleus, in a various circular orbit, revolving around the nucleus in a various circular orbit. The centripetal force required by electron for revolution. We require the centripetal force required to revolve the electron around the nucleus. Okay, and that centripetal force provided by electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. Why the electrostatic force of attraction will be happened? According to the properties of charge, the unlike poles are attracts to each other. Are you getting my point? The electron revolving around the nucleus. This electron revolving around the nucleus in a circular orbit, the centripetal force required by electron for revolution. Centripetal force required by electron for revolution. Okay, and it provides, when the electron revolving around the nucleus, it provided the electrostatic force of attraction between the electron and nucleus. These are the postulates of Rutherford atomic model. Okay, clear? Some limitations. Some limitations of Rutherford's atomic model. There are two limitations. One is according to the classical electromagnetic theory, So according to the classical electromagnetic theory, Maxwell's electromagnetic theory, revolving electron radiates the energy. Revolving electron radiates the energy. That means when the electron is revolving around the nucleus, it radiates the energy. It loses the energy of the electron. The energy of the electron is decreases. That means, but matter is stable. Matter is stable. We could not expect atom to collapse. That means why the atom is could not. According to the Rutherford, when the electron is revolving around the nucleus, means, according to the classical electromagnetic wave theory, when the electron, this is the nucleus, this is the electron, revolving around the nucleus. When the electron, according to the classical electromagnetic theory, the revolving around electron radiates the energy. That means when the electron revolving around the nucleus, the energy is radiate the energy in the form of electromagnetic waves. Means the energy of the electron decreases. The energy of the electron decreases means the electron is finally fall into the nucleus. The electron is finally fall into the nucleus. That means the matter is stable, but the matter is stable when the electron is finally fall to the nucleus, the atom is collapsed. But we could not expect atom to do not collapse. Means ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು electron nucleus, the electron revolving around the nucleus, the electron ಅನ್ನೋದು ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಸುತ್ತ ರಿವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿ the electron is finally fall into the nucleus. The electrons finally fall ಆದರೆ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು ಕೊಲಾಪ್ಸ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು. But the nucleus ಅನ್ನೋದು could not expect the nucleus to collapse. Means the Rutherford model is fluff. That is the one limitation. So another limitation, the electron spiral inwards means the electron revolving is finally fall to the nucleus. The angular velocity of the electron and their frequency changes continuously. Angular velocity of the electron and their frequency changes continuously. The atom emits the must be changes. Here the atom emits the continuous spectrum, but we are observed it emits line spectrum. That is also failed. Okay, these are the two limitations of the Rutherford's atomic model. Next, Bohr's model of hydrogen atom. There are three main postulates of Bohr's. One is every atom consisting of a central core, that is the nucleus. The positive charges and almost their mass is concentrated. Okay, there is a one postulate, and also the electron revolving around the nucleus in a circular orbit. In a circular orbit, the centripetal force is required by the electron for revolution, and it provided electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. This is the one postulate. So means it provided the centripetal force by the electron, so centripetal force required by electron for revolution. That centripetal force provided electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and electron. Here mv square by r is equals to the electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and electron. Means 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square by r. Ze square by r square. Okay. So this is the first postulate. Every atom consisting of a central core, that is the atomic nucleus, in which the positive charges of the atom and the entire mass of the atom is concentrated, and the electron revolving around the nucleus in a circular orbit. Electron revolving around the nucleus in a circular orbit. The centripetal force required by the electron for revolution, that centripetal force provided a electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and electron. This is a positive nucleus, the electron revolving around the nucleus in a circular orbit. When the electron revolving around in a circular orbit, the centripetal force will be created. That force provided electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. So in between them, the nucleus has a positive charge and electron has a negative charge. In between, the force of electrostatic force of attraction will be happened. That electrostatic force of attraction, here the centripetal force mv square by r is equals to the 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square by r square. Okay, that is a one postulate. So another postulate, according to the Bohr, the first postulate, this one is the second postulate. According to the Bohr, electron is revolving around the nucleus in a stable orbits. In a certain stable orbits is called as stationary orbits. Stationary orbits. So, ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು electron revolving around the nucleus in a stable orbit, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಬಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನ್ಯೂಕ್ಲಿಯಸ್ ಸುತ್ತ electron revolve ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, that orbits is called as stationary orbits. Okay, that is the second postulate, in which the angular momentum of the electron is integral multiple of angular momentum of electron is integral multiple of h by 2 pi. Here the angular momentum of the electron mvr is equals to nh by 2 pi, nh by 2 pi, where n is equals to 1, 2, 3, so on. So n is the principal quantum number where h is Planck's constant. H is Planck's constant. This is the second postulate of the Bohr's. Next, third postulate. An atom can radiate. The atom can radiate energy when the electron transition means atom can radiate energy when the electron can transition from orbit of higher energy level. That energy level is E2. We consider E2 higher energy level to orbit of lower energy level E1 is equals to h nu. Atom can radiate the energy when the electron transition from orbit of higher energy levels to lower energy level. That means energy is nothing but h nu is equals to higher energy E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu. These are the main three postulates of Bohr's. Can we quickly recall? The first postulate says that every atom consisting of a tiny core, the central part, the positive sphere is called as atomic nucleus. The atom has a central positive sphere is called as atomic nucleus, in which the positive charge and the entire mass of the atom is concentrated. The electrons revolving around the nucleus. When the electron is revolving around the nucleus, the centripetal force required by the electron for revolution. Okay, so yavaga ಒಂದು electron nucleus sutta revolve ಆಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ it requires a centripetal force. That centripetal force provided the electrostatic force of attraction between the electron and the nucleus. That means the centripetal force mv square by r is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square by r square. That is the first postulate. And second postulate, according to the Bohr, electron can revolve around the nucleus in a stable orbit. Electron can revolve around the nucleus in a stable orbit. That orbits is called as stationary orbits. For which, when the electron revolving around the nucleus, it creates a angular momentum. That angular momentum is integral multiple with h by 2 pi. H is nothing but Planck's constant. The angular momentum mvr is equals to the nh by 2 pi, where n is equals to 1, 2, 3, so on. N is nothing but principal quantum number, h is nothing but Planck's constant. Okay. Third postulates. So already I told you in the first postulate and second postulates, the atom, it can radiate the energy. When atom can radiate the energy means the atom, the electron transition from higher orbit of higher energy level, we consider E2, to the orbit of lower energy level, we consider E1. Therefore, E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu. H nu is nothing but energy of the atom. Okay, these are the main basic postulates of the Bose, and also these postulates are very very important for exam point of view. Okay. Okay, so we discussed postulates of Bose postulates. Based on that Bose postulates, we derive the radius of hydrogen atom. We derive the radius of hydrogen atom. Here, this is the atom, consists of a nucleus. The atom, the electron of mass m, and charge E, Here the electron of mass, electron has some amount of mass. We consider that mass is m, and charge of the electron is E. The electron is revolving around the nucleus with velocity of electron v. The velocity we consider v, with the velocity v. Means when the electron is revolving around the nucleus, means it creates a centripetal force. That is, and at that centripetal force provide a electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. Clear? Are you getting my point? When the electron is revolving around the nucleus, it required a centripetal force for revolution of electrons. That centripetal force provided electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and electron. Here the electrostatic force Fe is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze into E by R square. So the electrostatic force will be created in between them. The nucleus is nothing but Ze, electron is E, separated a distance R. Okay, this is that means where 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze into E, Ze square by R square, Ze square by R square, and centripetal force centripetal force Fc is equals to mv square by r. mv square by r. Therefore, Fc centripetal force is equals to electrostatic force of attraction, means centripetal force is nothing but mv square by r is equals to electrostatic force 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square by r square. Okay, here r square r get cancelled. Here mv square r is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square. We call it as equation 1. This is the equation 1. Okay, this is called as equation 1. So already I told you, according to the Bose postulate, the angular momentum of the electron is equals to is integral multiple of h by 2 pi. Here, according to Bose mv r is equals to nh by 2 pi. We call it as equation 2. Okay. Next, squaring on both sides. Squaring on both sides means this equation will square means m square v square r square is equals to n square h square by 4 pi square. This is the equation 2. This equation is 2. Okay. Can I rub this? Okay, this is the equation 2. Now dividing equation 2 divided by equation 1. What equation 2 means? mv square, m square, v square, r square divided by equation 1 means m v square r is equals to, so what is that, n square h square by 4 pi square into 4 pi epsilon naught 4 pi epsilon naught to Ze square. Okay, so here m square m get cancelled, r square r get cancelled, v square v get cancelled, v square get cancelled. What is the remaining left hand side? Means v square m r is equals to 4 pi square is equals to n square h square divided by pi Ze square. That means we want radius of the electron is equals to n square h square by m pi Ze square. This is the expression for radius of the electron. So now here we derive the radius of the hydrogen atom. So means already I told you that when the electron revolving around the nucleus, electron has a mass. We consider mass is m, and velocity, when the electron revolving around nucleus, it requires a velocity that is v, and charge of the electron is e. So the heat, when the revolving around the nucleus, electron revolving around the nucleus, the centripetal force will be created. That centripetal force mv square by r, and also it provided the electrostatic force of attraction between the electron and the nucleus, that is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square by r square. Therefore, we equate the centripetal force equals to the electrostatic force. That means mv square by r is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Ze square by r square. Here r square and r get cancelled. Finally, we got the mv r is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Ze square. Okay, that is, we call it as equation 1. And Bohr's postulate. According to the Bohr's postulate, angular momentum is equals to the angular momentum is integral multiple of nh by 2 pi. We are squaring on both sides. That equation of squaring on both sides means m square v square r square is equals to n square h square by 4 pi square. We call it as equation 2. When we divide by equation 2 divided by equation 1 means that is mv square, where is this, mv square m square v square r square divided by is equals to, here what of equation 1 we get mvr. Okay, so finally m square, this is the m square v square r square divided by the equation, first equation m v square into r is equals to n square h square by 4 pi square, here divided by Ze square, 4 pi epsilon naught divided by Ze square. Here 4 pi square and 4 pi get cancelled into epsilon naught. So finally we got the m square m r is equals to n square h square epsilon naught divided by pi Ze square by Ze square. So means radius of the hydrogen atom is equals to n square h square epsilon naught by m pi Ze square. This is the final expression. We got the radius of the hydrogen atom. So okay, you have any doubts? Means when we quickly recall the entire things, the first we discussed about the like a Rutherford model, atomic model. There are some postulates already we discussed. That means for the first postulate, that present every atom consisting of a central core, that is the nucleus. The positive charge and entire mass of the nucleus is concentrated, and the size of the nucleus of order 10 to the power of minus 15 is very small compared to the size of the atom of order 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. Okay, and another postulate, atom is electrically neutral. That means the total number of negative charge of electron is equals to the total number of positive charges, and also the electron revolving around the nucleus in a circular orbit, the centripetal force required by the electron for revolution, and also the centripetal force provided a electrostatic force of attraction between the nucleus and the electron. And some limitations like according to the classical electromagnetic theory, means classical electromagnetic theory means Maxwell's theory. When the electron is revolving around the nucleus, it radiates the energy. Means radiates the energy means energy of the electron is lost the energy. That means when the electron loses the energy, it's finally fall into the nucleus. Nucleus means collapse. Okay, but could not expect the nucleus collapse. That is the one postulate. The means Rutherford model is failed. Okay, so therefore another limitation, according to the electron revolving inwards, electron spiral inwards, their angular frequency and angular velocity is continuously changes. Means atom emits the spectrum, continuous spectrum, but we are observe only line spectrum, that is also failed. Okay. So next we discuss, after that we have to discuss Bohr's postulates. There are three postulates. One is the electron revolving around the nucleus. It provides a it requires a centripetal force, and also it provides an electrostatic force between the nucleus and the electron. That is the one postulate. Like that expression is mv square by r is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught z square by r square. And second postulates, according to the Bohr, electron revolving around the nucleus in a certain stable orbits. That orbits is called as stationary orbits. And when the electron is revolving, the angular momentum of the electron is integral multiple of h by 2 pi. Here the h is the Planck's constant, where n is the principal quantum number, like n is equals to 1, 2, 3, so on. And when the atom can radiates the energy, when it radiates the energy means the energy electron transition from very higher energy levels to lower energy level. That means E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu. That is postulates, and also we derive the radius of hydrogen atom. Okay, can we continue next class?